In this year's NBA draft, we have seen some of the best players hear their name called in the first round. Some selections were for the better of the team, while others look like they won't bring a positive impact. Today, I will talk about the first 10 picks in this year's draft and how it turned out for each prospect. But before I get into this video, make sure you like and subscribe for more content like this. But without further ado, let's get into the video. With the first pick in the draft, the Dallas Mavericks selected Cooper Flagg out of Duke University. Up until this point, the Dallas Mavs faced a huge roller coaster this season. Earlier in the year, they traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. Not only that, but later in the season, we saw Kyrie go down with a knee injury. This led to a missed playoff appearance and an angry fan base. However, everything changed in the draft lottery after the Mavs were given the first overall pick for this year's draft. It was evident that they were looking to choose no other person than Duke forward Cooper Flagg. During his one season at Duke, Flagg lit up the college basketball scene, creating highlight after highlight, leading Duke to a March Madness run before losing to Houston. Now that he's going to the Mavericks, this is like they are set for a good future. Flagg now has the opportunity to learn from future Hall of Famers Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. He has a chance to develop as a player without the stress of playing for an underperforming team. The Mavs now have a complete team along with their future. I'm looking forward to seeing if the Mavs can make it to the playoffs next season. With the second pick in the draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Dylan Harper from Rutgers. Dylan Harper is son of former NBA player Ron Harper. In college, Harper became one of the most dynamic players. In this one year, he averaged 19 points and earned All-American honors. As far as the Spurs, they look like they are going in the right direction. After training for De'Aaron Fox and pairing him up with Victor Wembanyama, Harper can be another guard who can be an asset. He can play both the 1 and the 2 guard, and his shooting is above average at 48%. I can see this Spurs team becoming a problem for the league next season, only because they are starting to put the right pieces around their franchise player, Victor Wembanyama. With the third pick in the draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select BJ Edgecombe out of Baylor. Coming from the Bahamas, Edgecombe made a huge impact when he came to Baylor. He showed his athleticism and dominated during college. Now that he's on the Sixers, this can add more talent around Joel Embiid. The only downside to this is that they are already guards on the team, with Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey. But Edgecombe brings what both players lack: the intense defense and intensity on both ends of the court. He'll more than likely be there to take the pressure off Embiid and George. This could become a great pick only for those specific reasons. With the fourth pick in the draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Con Knible from Duke. But unlike his teammate Cooper Flagg, Knible was known for being more of a shooter in college. He shot 41% from beyond the arc and 91% on his free throws. On the Hornets, I can see him becoming a role player who can help out star player LaMelo Ball. If he were to develop into something else, he could become a great spot-up shooter like a JJ Redick. But overall, this was an okay pick by Charlotte, considering that now they need to be in search of a big man after trading Mark Williams. With the fifth pick, the Utah Jazz select Ace Bailey from Rutgers. Ace Bailey put up numbers in college, playing alongside teammate Dylan Harper. But Bailey faced controversy heading into the draft. He decided not to work out with certain teams, let alone speak to them. I felt that this was a sense of entitlement, and this was going to end badly for the prospect. However, it would take a few picks before Bailey was selected by one of the teams he did not want to go to. Now with this selection, I think that he could end up trading Bailey somewhere else, or keeping him believing that he can develop into a rising star. With the sixth pick, the Washington Wizards select Trey Johnson from Texas. While Johnson was at Texas, he showed that he was one of the most versatile scorers. He found many ways to put the ball in the basket and stood out during his college career. With the Washington Wizards in a rebuild, they might find a way to make a star out of Johnson. Jordan Poole was traded, and they are looking for their next big star. With Johnson on the roster, his great shooting and ability to put pressure on defenses can put the Wizards in the right direction. With the seventh pick, the New Orleans Pelicans select Jeremiah Fears. While Fears was in college, he became one of the most creative players. With his great playmaking and ability to score, he presented himself as a true point guard. Right now, he is going into an organization that is looking for another star. CJ McCollum is absent, and Zion Williamson has shown that he is not the player New Orleans expected him to be. If I were to make a prediction, Bailey could turn into a long-term starter for the Pelicans. It might take time during his first season, but he'll be able to take on the role when he's called on. Not to mention, he is also added to a backcourt with the newly acquired Jordan Poole from the Washington Wizards. With the 8th pick in the draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Agor Demeen. Although his college season was up and down, he finished the season with a strong NCAA tournament run. This momentum continued into the draft, and he was able to impress scouts. The Nets are now getting someone who can make plays both in the paint and on the perimeter. The only factor would be the development of his jump shot. In college, his shooting wasn't consistent, but if he fixes that in the league, he could become one of the best players on the team and probably in the league. With the 9th pick in the draft, the Toronto Raptors select Colin Murray Boyles out of South Carolina. Boyles showed his presence as a big man while in college. He showed his defensive versatility and playmaking on the defensive end despite the lack of his size. Right now, the Raptors are in need of someone who can be a defensive presence on their team. But his questionable shooting and lack of size can play a big factor while he's in the NBA. Other than that, this is a solid pick for Toronto only because they now have a strong defensive backcourt. With the 10th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Houston Rockets select Kaman Malawach. Malawach served as a rim-protecting big man at Duke with his 7'7" wingspan. Now this pick is something that turned out way different from the previous 9. After being drafted, the pick went straight to the Phoenix Suns because of the trade that happened with Kevin Durant about a week ago. This could create a strong outcome for the Suns. The need for rim protection gave the Suns hope, along with having a loaded backcourt with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Jalen Green. Now he is still growing into his frame, so it might take a little time for him to develop into something special. Other than that, this is a great pick overall by the Phoenix Suns. Now that we've seen the top 10 picks announced, we'll look forward to seeing who's going to perform well starting in the Summer League. But that'll be the end of this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.